We're 3 years into the 2020s, which means an entirely new decade of it girls is upon us.
Oh my God, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it?
Every decade, there are a handful of women who collectively capture the image of America by personifying whatever the cultural moment is. Sometimes it's indefinable what makes someone catch fire and stamp themselves in our brains as a way to pinpoint and capture a certain fashion trend or mood. But there has been a common thread the past several decades. You'll know who an it girl is because even if they're not your thing, there's someone that you can't deny captivates you. Can't you feel the energy shift in the air right now? Based on it girls of the past, I think we can clearly see our future, and I really do think it's going to be a full 180 from where we've been. For one, the Kardashian death grip that's clawed society with its excessively long nails is weakening. So I'm gonna take you down memory lane to pay respects and lay to rest our it girl ancestors. Don't worry, I'll let you know my predictions by the end of this. But then you have to tell me if you think I'm off base or right on target with what will be the new obsession taking over our closets and personalities.
And I get up, I brush my teeth, and I pick out my school clothes.
Oh, and by the way, if you're in the mood for your own personal style rebrand, take this as your sign. Thumbs up this video, subscribe to this channel, and enjoy this video because it's a fun one. The first thing we have to establish before we map out who my favorite it girls of the past have been is how you can tell who an it girl is in the first place. If you're not listening to this while driving, close your eyes and think of any celebrity. Now, answer the following questions with a simple yes or no to determine if your celebrity is indeed an it girl. Do they stick out more for their persona or their career achievements? When they're photographed wearing something, does it sell out within seconds? Did their fame seem to pop up out of nowhere? If you answered yes to all of those, then congrats, you have a good understanding of what an it girl is. I should probably also tell you how we got the concept of an it girl in the first place. We have to rewind a little bit. The popular epithet was born in the 1920s, thanks to Clara Bow in the movie It. No, not the creepy clown movie.
Look like a nice boy. I bet you have a lot of friends.
It was actually a rom-com about a woman working retail and having a crush on her mega wealthy, handsome boss, the manager of the world's largest store. And lo and behold, the it girl was born. Literally. She had that something special about her that men wanted to be with and women wanted to be. She had the indefinable it factor.
Well, she has it.
In order to see where we're headed and why, we have to look at where we've been. I don't want to go too far back, so I thought a good place to start would be the 90s. There are so many good options for this time in culture. I know that it's debatable for people whether an it girl can be famous for something real or if she just needs to be fame adjacent, like a Nepo baby or just always getting pictured at the right places and parties at the right time. But if you count people who have maintained their celebrity status for more than just a brief moment, then I'll give honorable mentions to Drew Barrymore, Gwyneth Paltrow, Winona Ryder, Princess Diana, and Tyra Banks. But my personal top 3 starts with model, actress, and fashion designer Chloe Sevigny. She blew up after being featured in several music videos at the time and basically just dressing weird AF. Nothing says it girl more than someone who does the complete opposite of their peers in terms of style and just doesn't care. She's been on best dressed lists and she's been on worst dressed lists because she does what she wants. There's aesthetic and then there's Chloe. Now, I wouldn't wear a lot of the stuff she wore, but the thing is, she was interesting. All these years later, I admire her most for being brave enough to march to the beat of her own drum. Second is supermodel Kate Moss. It's probably problematic, I know, but the waif smoker, model off-duty look is iconically sexy to me. Her street style was so replicable. It was minimal, yet grungy. She married harder materials and textures like leather with sheer slip dresses so effortlessly, it felt like they were two items that were always supposed to be together. Like, did we all just forget? You know, the sneakers with dresses look that everyone's doing now? Kate invented it. And finally, there's the person who I think gets overlooked a lot when it comes to her mastery of trend directing in the 90s. Her recent Netflix documentary reminded us that she existed and just how much impact she had, which is why I think the #1 it girl of the 90s should go to Pamela Anderson.
I didn't sleep last night at all. If anybody is watching this, go to hell. I blocked that stolen tape out of my life in order to survive. And now that it's all coming up again, I feel sick.
She had no stylist, every look was her own, from the messy bun updos that she put together by tying a thong in her hair, to having Barbie proportions and popularizing baby tees. Men and women both couldn't help but be obsessed. Her fame came to her by pure luck too, after being featured on a Jumbotron at a football game.
I looked up at the big screen and there was 50,000 people, and there was my head. Huge.
Everyone was yelling, it was really bizarre.
Well, the stadium went crazy when they saw her
When they saw her head, yes.
That moment led to a modeling career and an iconic role on Baywatch in 1992. She was the highest paid actress on the #1 watched television show in the country. The press didn't let up when she married Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee after meeting him 4 days prior on vacation. They were enamored with each other, and once they were back in the US, they took PDA to an entirely new level as public figures. The public couldn't help but rubberneck their entire relationship. Things got dark, however, when the innocent voyeurism that she was always in control of invaded the most personal part of her life. Literally, a sex tape of the couple was stolen from their home in 1995 and blasted out into the world, solidifying Pamela Anderson's sex icon status on a whole other level, one she never consented to.
I don't think people consider her the owner of her own image. It's Pamela Anderson, public property.
Her son Brandon has called it the first viral video, and he isn't wrong. Despite the fact that Pamela didn't want her sex life public, the release of her tape proved that there was a budding marketplace, one where fame-seeking women could become an overnight sensation simply by selling themselves in a sex tape. Pam and Tommy sued the distribution company that released the tape to the world, but the trial was difficult, cruel, and embarrassing. Since Pam was pregnant at the time, she decided the stress of the trial wasn't worth it and reluctantly dismissed the case for her and the baby's health. Ironically, the sexual objectification of herself was the tool that simultaneously brought her fame and then destroyed it. Once people felt like they'd seen all there was to see, Pamela Anderson went from it girl to some girl. And because this all happened in an era before social media and reality TV, Pam had no outlet to set the record straight and show people that she had so much more to offer. If the paparazzi and the tabloids decided that someone was done, they disappeared. Pamela Anderson was no exception, and as fast as she appeared, she was gone. The early 2000s arrived fast.
OMW, on my way to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW.
While there was no apocalypse, the list of it girls outdid the 90s. Probably because paparazzi, as we once knew it, was ramping up.
You guys need to back up. I can't see the cars. Okay, back up, guys. You can't see the cars. They got out of the way. I can't see. There are cars there, mother. Get out of the way.
And so did reality TV.
Is this chicken what I have, or is this fish? I know it's tuna, but it says chicken by the sea. Is that stupid?
We were about to get more access to our favorite celebs than ever before. Now, I know people will be irate that I am not picking Britney, spoiler alert, to be the top it girl of the first decade of the century, but I would argue that Britney Spears is so much more than an it girl. She was a superstar. It girl would almost be like an insult to someone like her. Honorable mentions for it girls in this decade, though, could be Jennifer Lopez, Lindsay Lohan, Kimora Lee Simmons, and obviously Beyonce in her Destiny's Child era.
Why you all mad at me? You said you got pictures of everybody you love, and you don't have no picture of me and Michelle. But you gonna kick us out Destiny's Child now or something? See, now it's time to fight. Turn the cameras off.
My personal top 3 it girls of this time starts with Lauren Conrad.
Are you insane? Why would I ever invite that girl?
She had me thinking that pursuing a career in fashion journalism would be worthwhile. Thank God that never panned out, or I'd probably be without a job today. Lauren was unique because through her 2 reality shows, we could see what a girl relatively the same age as us was wearing in any given scenario. We watched her run errands, go to the beach for a bonfire, get dinner at a fancy restaurant, or even go to class. She was just a living, breathing billboard for teenagers, and whatever she was having, we were having, especially Steven. Hot piece on the show. Okay. It was a selfless decision to put this duo at number 2 instead of 1, but in order to stay true to the thesis of this video, I have to choose number 1s that had the biggest worldwide impact and not just personal impact. So sorry, Mary-Kate and Ashley, you reluctantly get the number 2 spot for the early 2000s.
Is today my birthday?
With them, we got double the style muses for the price of one, and the smartest thing they ever did was use their persona to build out an entire clothing and home decor brand at Walmart, where every middle-class American middle schooler could buy into the brand with their mom's wallet. I had Mary-Kate and Ashley makeup, hair tools, clothes, and even bedding. A giant Passport to Paris poster was hung on my lime green walls, and I have never gotten over the dream of having a twin sister to fight over boys with. The standout face that comes to mind, who I rightly feel deserves the top spot when it comes to trend setting in the first decade of the 2000s, is Paris Hilton.
I love it. It's like Malibu Queen Barbie.
It is.
At 19, Paris signed up to model with Donald Trump's modeling agency, T Management. She posed with her sister in Vanity Fair and then exploded in notoriety after showing up at every hot club in the New York and LA social scene. Immediately, she started getting written up consistently by tabloids and social columns for her Girls Gone Wild antics, like wearing shirts that say, "Got blow." She became a huge staple of the daily news cycle. You couldn't escape her or her little dogs. Then she really became a household name in 2003 when she and BFF Nicole Richie starred in MTV's The Simple Life, a reality show where the sheltered socialites slummed it on farms and discussed Walmart lore. I was so proud of that line. I just thought Walmart lore, that is like the best thing I've ever written.
What is Walmart? It's like they sell wall stuff?
No.
What is it?
Their fame skyrocketed, but so did the feeling of imposter syndrome for Paris. What America didn't know is that her entire ditzy personality, down to her voice, was fake. That's hot.
Even your voice is not the same as what I remember. Like, just hearing you now, this is you, isn't it?
Yeah, this is my real voice. That was just a character I was playing. I'm not a dumb blonde, I'm just very good at pretending to be one.
She was in on the joke until it stopped being funny. Even though she was a reality TV star, that wasn't her reality. She knew that she had so much more to offer than laughs at her own expense, but the only way the public accepted her was as the stereotypical dumb, rich blonde. Eventually, the persona began to eat away at her, but she wasn't ready to pull away from fame yet. And when an ex-boyfriend leaked a sex tape he made with Paris, she really thought her life would be over. But times had changed. It wasn't the 90s anymore, and Paris figured out how to leverage notoriety. The sex tape defined her career for a time, but it wouldn't hinder it. Paris had book deals and a fragrance line, and was credited, perhaps most notably, with inventing being famous for being famous. She had a distinct style that was sort of microwaved white trash, trucker hats, low-waisted velour jumpsuits, sidekicks, which I still want and am so upset that I never owned, and graphic tees. They were as synonymous to Paris Hilton as fortune cookies are to Chinese restaurants. Now you gotta bring in the true crime music. Little did she know, waiting in the wings, literally, was the new it girl in town, just in time for the 2010s. And her own sister was going to jail.
What up, Adrian lover? Were you not gonna call me to say ta-ta? What am I talking about?
Your sister's going to jail. Have a little compassion.
Kim, would you stop taking pictures of yourself? Your sister's going to jail.
Chloe's gone.
Here, Kim, this one. I feel like I'm gonna barf. Good, throw up.
Paris could have never have guessed that her friend and assistant, Kim Kardashian, was using her proximity to America's tabloid queen to learn everything she could on the art of it-girling. That way, when she took over, she would know how to make her fame last. Sure, the hipsters had Alexa Chung, the theatric girlies and the gays had Lady Gaga. People were convinced that Miley Cyrus's tiny little bun had its own heartbeat, and you couldn't rock an oversized sweatshirt, knee-high boots, and ponytail without thinking Ariana Grande. But the world had never been under a spell quite the same way as we were with the Kardashians. This wasn't just a case of an it girl or an it family. It was an entire dynasty. A full-fledged marketing giant was created that didn't just drive pop culture for the 2010s, it cannibalized it. So how did Kim go from closet organizer to the stars, to dancing with the stars, to I'm divorcing rap star Kanye West? She was the perfect it girl. She took the curves from Marilyn Monroe, the sex appeal of Pamela Anderson, the wild girl antics of Paris Hilton, and put it all in a blender. At the tail end of the early 2000s, Ryan Seacrest, who worked for E!, was in the mood for the perfect cocktail. He had been looking for a family that would be okay being filmed, and he had seen the success of the Osbourne family, and he wanted to capture magic like that for a new decade.
I can run! Sharon! Sharon!
Ryan heard that a woman named Kris Jenner, who was married to Olympian Bruce Jenner and had 6 kids, had been pitching her family for television. So Seacrest sent a camera crew to their house one Sunday when they were having a barbecue, and the cameraman called him and said,
"It's absolutely golden. You're gonna die when you see this tape. They're so funny, they're so fun. There is so much love in this family, and they're so chaotic. They throw each other in the pool."
Seacrest was sold, and the show was born.
All right, we're ready.
No. You're right here.
The wind, you guys? Is this necessary?
Go change.
Awful. No, that is not cute.
Yeah, go on.
I need someone to make me laugh.
Where's Kim?
Kim is always late. Here. Get out of our way.
Stop. Jealous.
No.
Stop!
Enough.
That's it, we're done.
Money.
4 months after the show premiered, Kim's sex tape with Ray J leaked. Now, I'm saying leaked, but I think we all know who's responsible.
I, literally fell apart. I had to go in a room and cry.
Well, I'm sure the money and fame helped. There were certainly critics, but the show was an undeniable catalyst for fame like the world had never seen. Soon came a myriad of makeup companies, fragrances, and clothing lines, adding up to a multi-billion-dollar industry, all centered around the family of one it girl. Exaggerated body parts like lips and behinds, tiny waists and painted on clothes, the popularity of bodysuits, and the complete obsession with contouring our makeup can all be credited to Miss Kim. With that much power being wielded in multiple different industries, it's no wonder the Kardashians have had the hold on us that they do. At first, seeing someone with cartoonish big boobs and a giant butt felt like a positive course correct to the ultra skinny obsession of the 90s and early 2000s. But many have wondered if the Kardashians just took beauty standards and redirected them into another unhealthy obsession. Were we as women better off? Or were unhealthy body image expectations just rebranded and repackaged? Enter the 2020s.
You were so in love, you weren't gonna tell me nothing. Let me get this clear, 'cause I had no idea. I feel like I did too much. I feel like I did too much. Let's get all y'all. Yeah, I need all y'all. I feel like I did too much. I feel like I did too much.
After a brief reign of Hailey Bieber before being dethroned and burned at the stake by Selenators, there seems to be a new it girl in town, and her name is Sofia Richie. Yes, I am talking about Lionel Richie's daughter, Nicole Richie's little sister, and Scott Disick's ex. Is it possible that Sofia pulled a Kim, soaked up everything she could from her connections to the past two biggest it girl eras, only to revamp in 2020 as something completely different? I don't think it's too far-fetched to think so. Sofia had a pretty standard club style when she was dating Scott Disick, something that's definitely typical for anyone existing within the Kardashian bubble. But after Scott and Sofia's 3-year relationship ended, 24-year-old Sofia connected with Elliot Grange, the son of Universal Music Group executive Lucien Grange, and close family friend to the Richies. They got married a year after getting engaged, and Sofia decided to use the wedding as an excuse to launch a TikTok, document the event, and also her entire image rebrand.
All right, here's the plan for today's pool day hang. This Proenza cute little mini dress, these little bedazzly, sparkly Chanel slides, this colorful, fun Chanel little baggy bag, cheerful look. I am gonna wear these fun Oscar earrings. I feel like it is so south of France and festive.
She wanted the world to know that she wasn't some Kardashian afterthought. She debuted on TikTok and became an it girl overnight, standing out against the Alex Earls of the world with old money aesthetic, class, and lots of Chanel. It became the United States' royal wedding, and people couldn't get enough. Her outfits told us that she had more money than we could ever dream of, but her demeanor seemed warm, kind, and oddly nice. This was giving Meredith Blake minus the gold-digging brattiness.
I promise I will make your lives miserable from the day I say I do. Got it?
She felt like your friend who stumbled into an obscene amount of money and got a better closet without losing who she was. It was oddly refreshing. Is this what we've been missing in an it girl? After decades of sex tapes, Playboy shoots, and cocaine benders, Sofia Richie is the it girl anti-hero we've desperately wanted, but didn't know we needed. She proved that a certain level of mystique and an air of exclusivity without being conceited, and a modest luxury wardrobe, or even just the illusion of luxury by using easy to mix and match basics and timeless pieces, can be cool, not matronly. Turns out, dressing like a woman is actually the sexiest thing you can do. And by dressing like a woman, I mean not dressing like a club rat. Not that I'm not guilty of it, I'm simply trend forecasting, okay? I think we're about to see a lot of girls going out with sleek hair, minimal makeup, and classy neutrals, thanks to Sofia Richie. You know, women have spent so long trying to figure out the best way to stick it to the patriarchy, right? We've bought into this bizarre concept that somehow we win, and I say win, by giving men absolutely everything they've ever wanted without making them work for it whatsoever. Crazy idea. Maybe we were never supposed to let what Pamela Anderson went through be in vain. I think the proof was right there in front of us, but we were distracted by the next shiny new it girl instead of paying attention to the lesson to be learned. Now, it's time to listen. Sofia is a cultural symbol of a complete style and Also, moral overhaul that is looming, which I think is not over-sexualizing ourselves for the benefit of men, and also not selling ourselves short by pretending to be something we're not to appeal to men. If you are the person that is walking into the bar and you're dressed like everybody else, expect to be treated like everybody else. A real it girl dresses for herself, not the over-sexualized, invented standards by the world.